Satnam. Apologies for being a few minutes late for our Friday Dharma talk. I'm here at Sanatam and Prabhunam's Sacred Kirtan Week in Millis, Massachusetts, the ashram. And just having a lovely week. I don't know if you can hear in the background, there's people practicing for tomorrow's sadhana. So I chose the topic Will and Grace because it's funny. It's one of my favorite old shows. But also because we've been doing so much work with the Shabads this week, and some of the concepts that have risen out of the Shabads we've been working with, I thought I would talk about. Because Yogi Bhajan also talked a lot about how we change, and that so much of it is right effort, but a lot of it, most of it, is grace. So I wanted to share my own personal experience. I was in the studio a few weeks ago, and I was emotional eating and had a bad day, and my engineer in a very neutral way said, "Oh yeah, that's a drug." and it struck me. Now, I had made effort in the past to try to have a vegan diet, to try to live in a certain way that I thought was ethical and right. And at the same time, I couldn't change. I made effort, but it was not coming. And that one simple word from my friend in the right time and space was the guru, right? Was that moment of transformation. And so much of life is that way, right? I have a strong personality, and oftentimes I'm described as irritable or overbearing, and it's something that maybe I want to change. I haven't decided yet. But at the same time, there's these other qualities in me that go unnoticed by me or unclaimed by me because I'm so over-identified with this piece of myself that I want to change. And this week here, where everybody's sort of blissed out on the nod, a woman came up to me and said, "Can I hug you? You just seem so sweet." Trust me, this is not something that people say very often. So part of change is recognizing the change that is already there. We tell ourselves such old stories, and we believe them for so long that it's hard to recognize when the shift has already happened, when the grace has taken over, and we're already living out the new, but we don't really know it yet. So Yogi Bhajan described this percentage of effort versus grace as 20%. Our part is 20%. 80% is karmas and samskaras and accumulation of merits and demerits and grace. Because in the Gurbani, Prabhunam was saying today, in the Gurbani, the word karma, which is karma, we would say karma, can be both action as we know it, but it can also be translated as grace in certain moments. And so karma, in the talks in the past, we've talked about how karma transmutes to dharma through dedicated action. In this same way, when we give our 20% and we dedicate that 20% and we release the results of that action, we let it go, we give it to the guru. And when we do that, that allows in the grace so that change is easy. Change is no longer beating ourselves up against a wall. Instead, it's just, "Oh, okay, I agree to that." And we just notice we've shifted. So for me, this vegan diet that I had been kind of meditating on and made effort in the past and failed and didn't want to try again and didn't want to fail again, I had this moment of grace, and all of a sudden it's easy. So when you have something in your life that you've been pushing up against, you've been struggling with, you've been trying so hard to change, sometimes that 20% is simply giving it to the Guru and allowing the Guru to operate through grace. And sometimes, as we talk about in the Christian Dharma, that thorn in the side is a path to humility. If you have something that you're struggling with, it makes you have more compassion for other people who are struggling with their stuff. So have patience, have faith, make right effort, contribute your 20%, and give the rest to the Guru. So blessings to you. Have a great weekend. Apologize for being late, but when you're in the nod of Sanatam, time and space lose their value. Have a great weekend. Satanam Vayaguru.